The dojo was full of people. It was busy and loud, but in a good way. You could hear kids shouting as they showed off their karate moves. The floor was shiny and clean, and the lights above made everything look warm and bright. On the walls were old scrolls with wise words and pictures of great teachers from the past. It felt like the walls were telling stories from a long time ago. This was a special day. It was the community showcase at the Dawn Lotus Dojo, a place in the middle of the city where people came to learn martial arts like karate. Families, students, and local visitors were all there, smiling, chatting, and watching the performances. In the middle of the room, young students were doing their kata, which are special moves they learn to show balance, strength, and control. Their faces were serious, and they yelled with strong voices when they moved. Everyone clapped and cheered for them. But in the back of the dojo, standing quietly, was a man named Jason Statham. He wore a simple black jacket and jeans. He didn't look fancy or important, but his eyes were sharp, always watching. He didn't want people to notice him. He liked being quiet, like a sword that stays hidden in its sheath. Jason didn't come here by mistake. Long ago, when he was younger and living in London, he trained in a small, serious dojo. His teacher taught him more than just how to punch or kick. He taught Jason how to be calm, respectful, and strong inside. Martial arts helped Jason stay focused when life was hard. Even though he later became a famous actor in action movies, Jason never forgot the lessons from the dojo. Martial arts was still in his heart. It helped him stay strong, not just in body, but in mind too. He was in town for a movie shoot and heard about the showcase, so he came to visit. He didn't want to be the center of attention. He just wanted to honor the art he loved. At the front of the room was Sensei Riku Takeda, the dojo's head teacher. He had a black belt and was known for his flashy moves. He was also very confident, maybe a little too confident. Sensei Riku liked to show off. He wore a clean white gi, which is the uniform karate students wear. Everyone was watching as he spun in the air and did a high kick. The crowd gasped and clapped loudly. Riku smiled wide, enjoying the cheers. But as he looked around the room, his eyes stopped on the quiet man standing in the back. He recognized him. "Wait a second," Riku said loudly, pointing at Jason. "Look who's here. A movie star." Everyone turned their heads. "It's Jason Statham," Riku said, grinning. "The action guy from the movies." Some people laughed. Others looked surprised. "Did you come to see real martial artists today?" Riku teased. "Or maybe you want to show us some of your Hollywood tricks?" More laughter followed. Jason didn't say anything. He just stood still, his hands in his pockets, calm as ever. One of the older students, a quiet man named Daichi, stood by the side. He didn't laugh. He frowned instead. Daichi had trained under the original master of the dojo, a wise and kind teacher. Daichi knew that Riku was being too proud and was acting like a bully. He didn't like it. Jason still didn't move. He had seen worse things in life than someone teasing him. He had been in real fights, not fake ones. He didn't need to prove anything. But Riku kept talking. He walked closer, trying to get Jason to react. "Don't be shy," Riku said in a mocking voice. "Come on. Show us what they teach in those fancy movie gyms." Riku spun again and did another high kick, landing with a big smile. Or is it all just special effects and smoke? Some people laughed again, but others started to feel uncomfortable. A little girl named Emmy, one of the youngest students, held her friend's arm tightly. She had seen Jason's movies and thought he was cool. But this felt different. It felt real. It felt serious. Daichi stepped forward, ready to stop Riku. But Jason gave a small signal with his hand, telling him not to worry. It was a simple gesture, but strong. Daichi stopped and nodded. He trusted Jason. Jason still didn't show any anger. He didn't yell or frown. But inside, he felt something. Not anger, because anger is weak and dangerous. What he felt was respect for the art of martial arts. And Riku was not showing that respect. Jason took off his jacket and let it fall to the floor. He stepped forward. Everyone in the room stopped moving. They watched with big eyes. Even without saying a word, Jason's body told a story. His muscles were strong but not too big. His movements were quiet but powerful. His arms had little scars from real fights. He looked like someone who had trained for many years, not just to act, but to really fight, to really learn. The room became very quiet. It was like everyone was holding their breath. Jason looked right at Riku. His eyes were serious but kind. He wasn't there to hurt anyone. He just wanted to protect the art of martial arts. "Are you sure you want to see that?" Jason said in a low, calm voice. His voice wasn't loud, but everyone heard it. It felt strong, like thunder far away. Riku's smile faded a little. He didn't expect Jason to speak like that. He thought Jason would be scared or walk away. But now he wasn't so sure. Still, Riku wasn't ready to back down. "Show me," he said, raising his fists. Jason stepped forward again. His feet were quiet on the tatami mats. He didn't pose or act. He just stood in a natural stance, ready but peaceful. Riku made the first move. He came in fast with a high kick. Jason didn't even blink. He stepped to the side, smooth like water, and gently pushed Riku's leg away. Riku tried again, this time with a punch. Jason blocked it softly, then tapped Riku's shoulder, not to hurt him, but to show he could have hit him if he wanted to. The crowd gasped. Jason was not showing off. He wasn't trying to win. He was trying to teach. Riku backed up, breathing hard. Jason hadn't even broken a sweat. The room stayed quiet. Then Jason bowed. A small, respectful bow. Riku looked down, ashamed. He bowed back. Jason picked up his jacket and walked back to the edge of the room. He didn't need cheers or claps. He just wanted people to remember what martial arts was really about: respect, control, and inner strength. Little Emi clapped first. Then Daichi. Then the whole room. Even Riku smiled, this time a real smile, not a show-off one. He had learned something today. And so, the showcase continued. Students kept showing their moves, but now the feeling in the room had changed. It wasn't just about showing off anymore. It was about honoring the art, learning, and growing. Jason stayed until the end, cheering quietly, shaking hands, and encouraging young students. When he left, he didn't make a big deal. He just walked out into the evening light, peaceful and proud. Back inside the dojo, the scrolls on the wall still hung in silence. But somehow, they felt even more alive now, like they had just seen a true lesson unfold. Riku blinked. He was surprised because something about Statham had changed. It wasn't something big or loud, but it made Riku feel a little nervous. His usual smirk, the little smile he wore when he felt proud, started to disappear. But even though he felt unsure, Riku stood tall. He didn't want anyone to think he was scared. "Let's go," he said. But this time, his voice wasn't as strong as before. It sounded a bit thin, like he wasn't so sure of himself anymore. The crowd that had gathered around them began to move. Everyone stepped back to make a big circle around the two men. It was like they were making a special space just for them. Daichi stepped into the middle. He was one of the leaders at the dojo, and everyone respected him. He looked calm, and he spoke in a clear voice. "If this is going to happen," Daichi said, "then it will happen safely. We follow the rules. This is only sparring. That means no one tries to really hurt the other. No showing off. No egos. Just respect." He looked at both Riku and Statham. His eyes moved back and forth, making sure they understood. Riku gave a quick nod, like he was ready. Statham didn't nod the same way. Instead, he gave a small bow of his head. It was a quiet way of saying thank you to Daichi and the dojo. It showed respect, even before the match began. They both stepped onto the mats. The room got very quiet. Everyone was watching closely. Riku moved first. He bounced on his feet a little bit, like he was warming up. His hands were up in front of him. His style was taekwondo, full of kicks and spins. It looked fancy, and you could tell he had practiced a lot. Statham looked different. He didn't bounce or pose. He just stood still. His body looked relaxed. His hands hung loosely by his sides. If someone didn't know about fighting, they might think Statham wasn't ready at all. But to someone who did know, like Daichi, Statham looked like a tightly wound spring. He was calm on the outside but ready to move fast at any second. Emi, one of the students, leaned over to her friend and whispered, "This is going to be amazing." Riku moved first. He threw a fast punch, then followed it with a big spinning kick. It was the kind of move meant to impress the crowd as well as hit the opponent. But Statham moved quickly, too. He didn't block. He just stepped to the side, very smoothly. It looked like he was dancing, but without any big motion. The kick missed, and Riku stumbled a little. He had put too much power into the kick and was off balance. Everyone watching gasped. They could see the mistake. Riku quickly got back into position. His face looked tighter now. He wasn't smiling anymore. He started punching, fast and sharp. He was trying hard to hit Statham, but he was also still trying to look cool while doing it. But Statham didn't block the punches. He didn't need to. He just moved his body left and right, just enough so each punch missed him by just a tiny bit. His movements were small and smooth. It was like watching someone dance in slow motion, just out of reach of the storm. People were amazed. Riku was flashy and loud, but Statham was quiet and strong. He didn't waste energy. Everything he did had a purpose. Then, in just one quick moment, everything changed. Statham stepped forward. He was close now. Too close for Riku to use his long kicks or big punches. And with one smooth motion, Statham pushed his palm, his open hand, into Riku's chest. Not hard enough to hurt, but just strong enough to make Riku stumble backward. Riku's feet slid. He had to catch himself. It wasn't a big attack. It didn't look scary, but it said something loud without using words. I could have ended this right now. Riku's eyes opened wide. His breathing was fast. Everyone in the crowd was totally silent. You could almost hear hearts beating. Statham didn't chase after him. He didn't try to do more. He stepped back to where he was before and stood still again. Calm and quiet. Like nothing had happened. He looked at Riku and said one simple word. Enough. He didn't say it in a mean way. He wasn't yelling. He said it like a teacher asking a question. But his voice had something in it, something strong that didn't need to shout. Riku felt two things fighting inside of him. His pride wanted to keep going. He wanted to show everyone he was tough. But there was something else, too. Something in the way Statham looked at him made Riku pause. This wasn't just some actor pretending to fight. This was someone who had lived through real battles. Someone who didn't need to show off. Someone who knew the truth behind the art. And suddenly, Riku understood. He had been showing off. Pretending. But Statham, he was the real thing. Riku stood still, thinking. Daichi stepped between them again. His voice was calm. That's enough, he said. Both of you showed respect. Then Daichi bowed to them both. It was a quiet way of ending the fight. The crowd finally let out their breath. Some people clapped a little. Others just watched, still too surprised to move. Emi's friend whispered, "Did you see that?" Emi nodded. She wasn't just amazed by the strike. She was amazed that Statham had held back. He could have hurt Riku, but he didn't. He had chosen not to. Riku was still breathing hard. He looked at Statham. He was searching for something, maybe a sign of teasing, or maybe a smirk. But there was none. Statham just looked back at him, calm and kind. Slowly, Riku bowed. But this time it was different. Before, he had done a fast nod, just to show off. Now, the bow was deep and real. It came from his heart. "I misjudged you," Riku said quietly. "Thank you for the lesson." Statham bowed back. His bow was perfect and full of respect. "Good dojo," he said. "That's all." Then he picked up his jacket and stepped back into the crowd. It was like nothing had happened. He didn't wait for praise. He didn't wave or smile. He just disappeared back into the crowd, quiet and calm. The demonstrations at the dojo continued, but something had changed. The feeling in the room was different now. People were still talking about what had happened. Riku's way of teaching also changed. He didn't try to show off as much. His lessons became sharper, more real. The students noticed. They whispered to each other about the movie star who had stepped into their dojo and shown their teacher something important, without even breaking a sweat. Later, as the event was ending and the crowd began to leave, Daichi found Statham near the door. "You didn't have to do that," Daichi said softly. He wasn't angry. He was just curious. Statham gave a little shrug. Then a tiny smile appeared on his face. Art deserves better than ego, Statham said. And so do the students. He nodded toward the kids who had watched everything. Then he turned and walked out the door. The city outside was full of people and lights and noise. But inside the dojo, something quiet and powerful had just happened. Statham walked away into the night. His steps were light. His thoughts were already on the next thing ahead, maybe a new movie, maybe another dojo, maybe something else. He knew something very true. Some fights aren't won by being the strongest. Some are won with respect. If you enjoyed this story, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next thrilling adventure or mysterious twist. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.